welcome. My name is Jevgenij Rusakov and you're watching TVP World, interview from Vilnius. This year's Olympic Games have left a lot of positive emotions for many people around the globe. On the other hand, this year's Olympics have also brought some misunderstandings. One of them involved Algerian boxer Imane Khelif that won the gold medal. To discuss this issue, we are joined today by the member of Lithuanian Parliament, Matas Maldeikis. Hello, Matas, and thank you for joining us today.
It is my pleasure.
First of all, is boxing a women's sport?
I like strong women. Lithuania got a lot of strong women, so I'm okay with that. I like to watch that.
But nowadays, is this question even okay to ask? What's your take?
I guess yes. I guess you are right in asking this question, because there is some questions that we have in our societies that become inappropriate to ask. And this is science's message that is we are going somewhere that is toxic environment, and that is bad for democracy.
We're actually asking if boxing is women's sport.
Yeah.
Makes the whole thing toxic, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that shows that something is wrong with democracy. And there is some things some topics that you can't come up with, and this is bad. This is bad.
Okay. So, let's head to this Algerian boxer, Imane Khelif.
Yeah.
So she's an Olympic champion, or should I say he's an Olympic champion? I don't know yet. So what's your take on the whole situation in general? And should we say around him, around her? What should we use in order not to get mistaken?
Yeah, your question shows where we are at now, because it wasn't about the boxing per se. What was done a politics, and this is very bad for the Olympics. I watched the whole Olympics very closely, and it was, in my opinion, one of the best Olympics I ever had. But there was some strange toxic topics, and woman box was one of those. And what we are seeing here is radical left politics get into the boxing arena, fighting other women, and what we have is a very toxic political environment, because that was a political agenda of radical left taking the stage, making everything political, and making a fuss of all of this, victimizing her, let's call it. And we have a situation, then we have a rise of radical right, because they are sitting by the television, they are watching the situation, what is going on, and they are saying to themselves, the people of the planet, they are saying, damn, something is wrong here. Something is wrong here, I don't like the picture. Why? Because they are being thrown politics to their face when they are watching women box match.
What do you mean by saying, like, at this specific Olympic Games, boxing was a tool of politics? What do you mean by saying that?
Bolsheviks always said that sports is a politics per se. So what we are seeing here is absolutely on this agenda. We have a situation where the liberal values won in our in the world. What Fukuyama called the end of the world, end of the history. He was talking about the liberal values winning, and we had a situation for some time when that happened. But what happened in the Western civilization is that liberal values didn't know where to come next, what to do next, because they need something on their agenda to do next, to take some topics and to go with the agenda, but there wasn't any. So what they did is they made the situation radical, and liberal left made the whole political spectrum of all the situation, of all the world that we are living in, every aspect of our life made political. And sports also political.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. And that political arena becomes radical left arena. I'm all for the good cause in the world. But when I'm fighting that, it becomes very, very hard for me to go somewhere and talk with people and explain to them what is going on. I can't tell them that, look, we need equality between all ourselves. Because what they are seeing in a boxing match is not an equality. They see the politics going on. And for them, that makes them don't want to get involved in the situation, or they vote for the radical right, or they vote against human rights question. And what we have is a society that becomes angrier, angrier, and angrier. And this is the worst thing that happened with that boxing match.
So now, what do you think? Was that a good political decision, or was that a bad political decision?
It was very, very bad political decision if we are taking into account what is happening with our society. Society sees all this, and they see hypocrisy. They see the hypocrisy that is going on in the politics of radical left. And what that makes, only one thing, that makes radical right stronger. And we don't have everybody, because of social media, because of television, everybody gets involved. Are you radical left or are you radical right? Yes? And there is no third way. I want to propose that we should go with a third way, not to go with a radical left. That's, this is the dead end, because they are trying to create the society that will never be. And what we have, and what we are getting in the end, with a society of radical right, the society that wants to get us back to the past that never were. This is the problem.
Okay. So, by the way, when saying that those ultra-rights and ultra-lefts, who also could benefit from all that stuff that's going on?
Of course, autocrats like Putin and all those guys, because for them it's easy, easy money. They are saying, "Look, I told you so. I told you so. Look what they are doing with our society.
It's easy.
Look
at
it's manipulation. Look what is going on. Are you talking about Istanbul Convention when we have a situation like this and things like that?" For them, it's very easy, a low-hanging fruit, I think Britain says. For them, it's very easy to take and to say, show to society. It's like, you
They're
just
criticizing us, but look at what's going on
Yeah, what's
there.
going on? It's like this society is dying per se. And we have a values that we are standing for. And for a lot of people that it's not so critical-minded, it's very easy to, to get to this trap, because they are seeing with their own eyes that this something is not right here.
Okay, so again, coming back to that Imane Khelif victory, so probably the most common question that society raised after her win against the Italian boxer Angela Carini is whether athletes with genetic characteristics could be admitted on equal terms to women's competitions. So we can only guess, really, what's the real situation with Imane, but what do you think about the problem that the society raised?
When we have a situation like that in that match, it's pretty easy, because if we don't get involved with politics, the lady was disqualified. And she agreed with disqualification because she didn't want to get further disqualification. I should remind that she agreed with the disqualification. It was okay with her. She understood the situation. Federation understood the situation, Olympic Committee understood the situation. They go ahead with that because they made a victimizing situation. Oh, look, this lady is being victimized. And when we have only one small part of society being victimized, and everybody is saying, everybody else is seeing that, look, there is a lot of parts of a society that is not being treated right, but they don't get the same treatment as this lady. Why is that? Why this qualified lady get the situation as it is? And what is the most important? Society is very, very clever. They just sitting, watching on their sofas and making decision. And this is the strangest thing about politics. They do what they are doing, and later they are very surprised when they get the results in the election. This is the biggest paradox for me.
Exactly.
You making the decisions that you are making and thinking that there won't be any consequences of what you are doing. You creating the roots of that. So don't be surprised if electorate goes and do what it does. It votes.
So coming back to sports, do you think that this is the future of any women's sport?
No, I think we are getting to the situation when the situation that we saw is becoming it's near the borderline, as I can say. We are getting to the situation politically that we will have a lot of, big consequences in the elections, in the societies and things like that. We will see that this politics will backfire. But the problem is, the question is how much it backfire to radical right, or will it backfire to the center? This is the biggest question that we have.
Do you want to say that this situation with Algerian boxer Imane Khelif just literally is a trigger to all that you
one of the biggest triggers, because why it was so much trigger? Because it was an Olympics. People get used to sit with their kids.
It never was. I don't remember any other stories like that on the previous during the previous Olympic Games.
It always was United States against Soviet Union and things like that. It always was about politics. But then it was, you are sitting with your kids, watching the sports, and you explain to your kids what is going on. Okay, this is good guys.
Them and we don't support them.
Yeah, this is the good guys, this is the bad guys, things like that. We support those. Let's go, guys, and things like that. Now they are seeing this is not about that. What they are seeing is the intrudement into their personal space with radical left politics, and it will pay very dear consequences.
Okay, so what would you say to those who still think that Imane Khelif is a man, or at least a woman, with some enormous level of testosterone in her blood?
I would like to know why. It would be very easy. It would be just to show from the Olympic Committee side to show why she was disqualified. And their answers would be done for, we will get the answers. Second question is sport per se. Okay, we have women's box. It's, as I said, I like strong women. I'm okay with that. I adore strong women because, it's interesting to...
well, you feel safe.
Yeah, you
just
feel safe. And, I like to, let's call it, I like strong women, yeah? But what is going on? What was happening here wasn't about women's sport. It was about politics. This is the biggest problem.
Okay, so could you say that the society, just by this simple example, is actually radicalizing maybe, or radicalized?
Absolutely. Society is radical enough, is radicalized enough, because we have bubble of radical left and a bubble of radical right, and they don't communicate, and they don't understand each other. They had absolutely different news feeds, and they don't know what is going in one bubble or what is going in another bubble. In those clashes, we have just more radical society, and the good cause of Western civilization that we created in so many years with individual rights and things like that. Because of this, I would say, stupid little things that we are doing, is we will start to lose all the benefit of that, because those people will vote, and they won't vote for that boxing match. They won't vote for that boxing match.
Okay, just briefly, what do you think would be the solution of this problem?
3 years ago, solution was very easy. Go to the, we was told, just go to the, and I believe in that, absolutely, I now believe. You go to the science will answer you. You put your mask on, you get vaccinated, science will answer your question. Now we have a situation when X and Y chromosomes doesn't mean man. So now we shouldn't look to the science. So when we were asking for one thing that the whole society was saying when the COVID was happening, let's go, gets back to the science, and if X and Y chromosome is a man, then it's a man, and it's become very, very easy. Of course, there might be exemptions, but deal with that exemptional way. Don't get the situation that happened here, being here.
Okay, well, that's actually a very interesting topic that we raised today. And Matas, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And hope to see you once again.
Thank you.
And I would like to remind our viewers that our guest for today was a member of Lithuanian Parliament, Matas Maldeikis. You're watching TVP World. Stay with us.